Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good day to everyone who view this video. So this one I will cover chapter 2 for object-oriented programming CSC435. Chapter 2 will cover on programming basic. Okay, so let's look what are the subtopic to be covered in this chapter. First is structured versus OOP. Second, introduction to Java application. Third is data types. There are two types of data types, primitives and references. Number 4 is control structures. Number 5, array of primitive data types. And last one, we will look at what is meant by packages in Java programming. So let's start with the first subtopic, which is structured versus OOP. Okay, so I'm not going to discuss with all of you these characteristics or the differences between these two programming. So I only touch on several important points. What are the really differences between structured programming and object-oriented programming? So first of all, if you look at the first point, structured programming actually is design which focus on process. However, object-oriented is design which focus on data. So structured programming will focus on step by step on how we want to solve the problem. But the object-oriented programming actually, it solves the problem by looking at the data itself and make the step-by-step process. Okay, structured programming follows top-down approach. However, object-oriented programming follows from bottom-up approach. Okay, and then as we have learned before this, object-oriented support 4 types of characteristics, which are inheritance, encapsulation, abstraction, and polymorphism. However, structured programming is also known as modular programming and a subset of procedural programming language. It's really procedural, it's really follow step-by-step process. You need to write the code from line 1 until line 100, for example, to accomplish the problem that you want to solve. Okay. And then what else? Structured programming is less abstraction and less flexibility compared to object-oriented programming. It's more abstraction and more flexibility. And then you can look at by yourself what are the other advantages and the weakness of object-oriented and also structured programming. So let's look at the next slide. So at the left one, so you can imagine how does the procedural or structured programming is being implemented. Actually, it will separate the data and also the function. So when the function want to use the data, it need to call the data. Okay. And then at the right side is the object-oriented programming, whereby it encapsulates the data and also the function into one module or one object. So each data has its own functions. Okay, for example, here, let's say car is a data. It has its own function and also its properties. Same goes to human and also traffic light. So if you compare with these two, procedural and object-oriented, so when we want to solve the real problems such as a traffic light or traffic control problem solving, so the object-oriented actually solve the data by store it into separate data with its properties and also the methods. However, for procedural or structured programming, it separate the data and also the function. Okay, all right. So let's look at the evolution of programming languages. Actually, it started from machine language. actually is a natural language of computer. We need to learn real difficult how the machine is being processed. So we need to learn quite hard or not our mother's tongue language, okay, and also it's very machine dependent. So then it move on to assembly language. Is a English-like abbreviation, represent computer operation, and then translate the programs convert to machine language, and then move to high level language is allow for writing more English-like instruction, contains commonly used mathematical operations, and the compiler convert to machine language. So in this level, we need a compiler. And last one, the latest one is interpreter. Execute high-level language program without compilation. Okay, all right. So let's move on to the next subtopic, which is introduction to Java application. Okay, so actually what is meant by Java? Java is a high-level language focusedly on object-oriented, which is developed by Sun Microsystems. Okay, Java's clean design and wide availability make it an ideal language for teaching the fundamentals of computer programming. Okay, so there are 5 phases in Java environment. So first is edit, where programmer writes program and stores program on this. Then you need to compile the program, and then the compiler creates the bytecodes from the program. And then next one, it goes to load processes or load phase. The load it actually is a class loader, stores bytes code in a memory. And then next phase is called verify. It's a verifier, ensures bytecodes do not violate the security requirements. And last one is execution phase, where interpreter translates bytecodes into machine language. So this is the diagram to show you the phases of Java environment. Okay. So, okay, next, this one actually is a template for simple Java program. What you need to do is, or what you need to write it, what you need to have when you want to write Java program. First of all, it started with main, but this one is an optional. Then it must be followed by import statement. If you want to implement or apply any library or packages from Java, and then you need to declare the class name and followed by method body. So in this case, the must method or the main method that you should create, okay, in order for you to execute the program. Okay. All right. So let's look at what are the Java program components. There are 3 main components here. First one is commands, second is import statements, and third is class declarations. Okay, so this is example of commands. Commands consists of 3 types of commands. Multi-line, it consists of more than 1 line, or single line, you can do like this, double slash, and java.commands, you can make like this. Okay, all right, so you can choose either one if you want to place a comments into your Java program. All right, so next we have another components of Java program, which is called import statements. So the first one, how to write the import statement. So you need to follow this syntax. Start with package name, followed by dot, and followed by class name. And then you need to identify what kind of package that you want to use. So actually what is meant by package? Package is a group of predefined classes which is placed inside the Java library. Okay, so you can include sub-packages forming a hierarchy of packages. Okay, look at the example. So this one is the package name Java X followed by dot, and then you call class name swing, and then you can call a sub-package, okay, which is inside the swing package we have J option P. Okay, so by default, Java.lang package is imported in every Java program. So if you do not import any package, actually, when you write a Java program, Java.lang package will be imported automatically. So it provides classes that are fundamental to design of the large Java language. For example, java.lang.object. What does this package do? It will allows you to use the object, okay, to create the object when you write the Java program. Okay, all right. Every program consists of more than one or more classes. So every source file can contain at most one public class main. So every Java program must have a main method. So inside the main class, let's say you declare one class named student. Inside the student class, you should include one main method. Okay, so the name of the public class must match the name of the file containing the class. Means what? If you create class student, you have to make sure when you want to save the file must be the same name with the class name student. Okay, so you need to know these rules in order for you to create a Java programs. Okay, so why use standard classes? So don't reinvent the wheel. When there are existing objects that satisfies our needs, you just use them. So no need to reinvent. So just use. Okay, learning how to use standard Java classes is the first step toward mastering the OOP. Before we can learn how to define our own classes, we need to learn how to use existing classes. Actually, Java provides existing classes in their library. So we just use it to get the benefit what they have offered to us. Yeah. So there are some standard classes, for example, J option paid, string, and date. So we will look at one by one. What are these classes offered to us when we want to write a Java program? Okay, for example, class J option paid. Okay, J option paid actually helps you to display the message or to get the input from the user. So when you use show message dialog method from the J option paid, actually is a simple way to display a result of a computation to the user. So how to write the show message dialog method? So you call the package J option paid dot the method show message dialog with this variable noun, comma, and this message. So we will display the message I love Java with this simple interface. Okay. All right. Other than that, how you want to display a line of message in a multiple lines. So you can use /n here in between of the message that you want to display. So just include /n here, okay, between 1, 2, and 3. So when you display the output, so 1, 2, and 3 will be displayed in multiple lines. Okay. So next. So another class is called string. So what is meant by string? The textual values passed to the show message dialog method are instance of the string class. The text just now, I love Java 1, 2, 3 actually is a text. These values actually will be passed to the show message dialog methods by using string class. Okay, so a sequence of characters separated by double quotes is a string class. So what's whatever text that you include inside the double quote actually is called as a sequence characters and include inside a string class. So actually there are close to 50 methods that we can use to manipulate the string, such as substring, length, and index of. Okay, so beside that we also can use concatenation, which is the to connect between two texts or two words. Okay, so we will look at one by one. Okay, the first one, string is an object. So let's say you declare one variable name as string. Actually, this name will be assigned or will be will be created as an object, and that one space will be allocated to a name. So in this case, this example show you the name will store a value of string as John Java. Okay, so as you can see at the diagram, at the left one, name will be allocated a single space. Okay, when you declare or you give value to the name will be referred to a string. The string actually hold the value of John Java. Okay. Okay. So string indexing. So let's say you have declared one string named text, and text is referred to expresso. So this expresso actually will be stored into one space one space of characters. So if you have 8 characters, so you need 8 spaces. Yeah. So in Java string, the space is start from number 0, or it is called as the position or index of the character. So must start with 0 until the end of the text. Right? So next, what is mean by substring? All right. Please assume that str, a variable str, is a string object and properly initialized to a string. Okay, if you use substring method, so this str that you have assigned just now, okay, use the dot and call the method substring. So you need to apply the variable I and j. We'll return a new string by extracting characters of str from position I to j minus 1, where 0 less than or equals to I and I less than the length of the str. Okay, so 0 less than j and j less than or equals to length of str, and I must less than or equals to j. So let's look at the example. If str is assigned to programming string or word, then if we use substring, so look at how we want to call the substring, str.substring, and then you define the variable where 3 is represent I and 7 is represent j. So we'll create a new string whose value is gram. Why gram? Because G is at position number 3 and M is at position 6. Why 6? Because 7 is represent the J, sorry. So J need to be minus with 1. 7 minus 1 is equals to 6. That's why the programming just now, if we use the substring methods, it will return gram as a new substring. Okay, so however, the original string, which is programming, that point by str remains unchanged. Okay, Okay, so let's look at other example by implementing substring method. So let's say we declare one variable text here, which is point to expresso just now. So you can use different numbers here. Okay, we'll get a different output. Okay, so I want you to look at these two last line. So we have text.substring 3 and 3, I equals to 3 and j equals to 3. So when we start with 3, suppose the text is 0, 1, 2, 3 R. However, j is 3. 3 is supposed to minus 1, which is 2. So there is no output to be displayed. So that's why the output is empty. Okay, and then the last one, we call the substring, and the position or the index start with 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is E. However, the j is less than I. So we cannot use this kind of value because of what? J is less than I. So the Java will return error message, right? Okay, so let's look at another methods of string, which is called length. So if you use length, actually we want to know the number of characters, how many characters for a certain words that we refer to. So if you use the same word just now, which is programming, and assign it to str, so we want to know how many characters are there in the programming word. So you just use str.length, and then it will return 11 because programming consists of 11 characters. Okay. Okay, next, look at the example. We declare several variables of strings. Okay, such as hello, Java, empty string, and one space. So when we use the method length, so it will return different number of characters. Okay. All right. So next is index of. So index of actually is used to what? To return the first position substring occurs in the str. It is not the same with length, but we want to know the index of the characters that we want to identify or that we want to know. Okay, for example, if str is referred to programming and substring is gram, so we want to know the index of substring. So if we implement index of for substring keyword, so it will return 3. Why? Because the position of the first character of substring is 3, which means it referred to the letter G. Okay, just now G in the programming word, okay, the index is start with 3. Why? 0, 1, 2, and 3. If substring does not occur in str, then -1 will be returned. So the search is very case sensitive. Okay, so another example of index of. So let's say you call the method index of, and then you identify, okay, you want to know the letter J is in what position or what index number is placed. So just put it J here. So the compiler will return 7. Same goes with other word. Okay. So such as love, it will return the word, the index of L. Okay, same goes with of and me. All right. So why it returned the -1 for me? Because there is no uppercase for M. So there is no uppercase M here in I love Java and loves me. So it returned -1. All right. Okay, next we look at the concatenation. So concatenation means you want to concatenate or combine between one, two or more string in one output. So you need to use the keyword or the symbol add or plus. Okay. For example, you have two string here, string 1 and string 2. String 1 is referred to pro and string 2 refer to gram. When you use concatenate operator or symbol plus here, it will return program. Okay, so actually this is an operator and a method. So concatenation is not a method, it's just an operator. You just call the symbol plus. So let's look at the example. So if you have two words here, when you concatenate string 1 and string 2, so it will return to you John Java. And if you concatenate more than one, so you can just use plus and plus and plus and plus. So you can create your own message based on your own format. So this is called concatenation. Okay. So next, date. So date is another one class from Java util package, which means it will return the date, the current date. Okay, in the computer, in your computer in this case. So the class has two string methods that convert the internal format to a string. Means if you want to know or you want to display the date, you need to call the method to string to display the date. To string is similar to print, okay, or to display. So in this case, you call the class date, and then you create one variable or object for the date, let's say today, and then you point to the new date here like this, and then you call the object today with the dot and call the method to string. The output will be displayed, which is the current date of your computer, right? So another class that you can use in Java, it is called JOptionPane to get the input. Just now we know that JOptionPane can be used to display the output. So you also can use JOptionPane to get the input. Why we want to use JOptionPane? So JOptionPane provide to you an interface or a simple window, okay, or screen for the user to display the message or to get the input. So let's see here, you want to get the name from the user. So display one variable name here and then assign it as a string. So refer the name and then equals to call the class JOptionPane and the method show input dialog followed by null and the message that you want to the user to ask, what you want to ask from the user, what you want to get from the user. So okay, this is the output. So the user need to enter the input here and just click the button OK or cancel. Right? Okay, so that's all for this lesson. So we will continue in part 2. Thank you. Assalamualaikum and a very good day all.